Devin Callier's freshman year at North Carolina has been nothing short of exhausting. As the starting running back and kick returner for the football team, Devin already had a heavy physical workload and a demanding schedule, but now that basketball season started, he barely has a moment to himself where he isn't at practice or a game. Devin established himself as an instant star for the UNC basketball team, as he led the Tar Heels to a comeback win in his first start, and the expectations being placed on him are so high that he's starting to really feel the pressure. On top of that, he's still got to pass his classes, and while he was always a good student in high school, he just hasn't had any time to study. Even with his quote-unquote tutors doing a solid portion of his homework for him, he's still barely scraping by. But on the field and court for Devin, everything's been going right so far. We'll see if he can keep that up or if the pressure will get to him as UNC's football team enters the home stretch of ACC play. We are playing in the snow once again out here. We have a great opportunity to bounce back at home here as we get that down to the goal line, and we just gotta punch this into the end zone on the speed option. Drake May is gonna waltz in, and we're off to a solid start in this one. We got the ball on the counter and make some space for ourselves. That's a nice game. I love when coach gives me those counters. I just wish we had an opportunity to do that more. Okay, 3rd and goal. I'm trying to get my first touchdown of the day here, and May gets that ball out quick. Give me that. Virginia answers back, but our offense is clicking on all cylinders right now. Devin continues to open up the pass game. We hit a dirty back juke. We've got almost 100 yards receiving in the first half. And coming out of the half, we have a 17-point lead. As long as we take care of the ball, this should be a blowout win. All right, we're running the speed option here. May pitches it out. I was not expecting that, and we shake a dude, but can't run a guy over to get into the end zone. And since we barely get the ball in the handoffs, every time we get a carry, it's an opportunity. We got a huge hole on the read option, and we're trying to show coach why we deserve more touches here. And coach puts the backups in. We are just gonna crush the clock. We come up with a nice redemption win in the snow, and Devin has another nice game with over 100 total yards on the day. Every game from here on out is essential in determining whether or not we get to the conference championship game. We're putting together a beautiful opening drive, but we've got a 3rd down here. Devin is wide open up the middle for our first touchdown of the day. This game is off to a great start. Pitt's offense has been struggling big time, and Devin is cooking catching passes out of the backfield. We've already got 50 receiving yards. We're getting our first carry here, and I'm just gonna cut that one up the middle for an easy touchdown. We are crushing these kids in front of their home fans. We got a chance for the return here, and Devin is the most dangerous man in the country when it comes to that. We've got plenty of room. We might take this one all the way to the house if we can beat number 12, and he barely trips us up, man. Come on. I should have cut that inside. Offense turns that into a touchdown going into half, but Pitt is finally starting to wake up on offense, and I'm hoping coach runs the ball just a little bit more here to work the clock. We've got a huge 4th and 2 here. I'm honestly surprised coach is going for it, as Devin's gonna get the ball out of the backfield. We try to make something happen, but we're stopped way short of the first down. Thankfully, Pitt's offense is absolute garbage, so we get it right back. I don't know how these boys are ranked number 8. Midway through the 4th quarter, this game is pretty much over, but we've finally got the chance to rack up some rushing stats here. I don't know if Devin's gotten more than 10 carries in a game a single time this season. Considering the impact Devin has had on this team, it's crazy that he's still seeking out his first 100-yard rushing performance. We just have not gotten the ball enough on the ground to make that happen. It doesn't look like today's going to be the day for that, but we're going to get out of here with a dub, and our team clicked on all cylinders that game. Devin had an okay day with over 100 yards of total offense, and after that win, we are 2nd in the ACC Coastal. We need Miami to take a loss, but we'd have the tiebreak over them if they did. With the ACC football title chase coming down to the last couple of games, basketball season is also starting to heat up. Devin got off to an electric start in this game as he flew into the lane for a dunk, and after picking up his first rebound on the other end, he continued to look sharp as he drilled a long 2 to give UNC the lead. He was looking every bit the part of an instant star at point guard as he continued to get inside and started the day at 3 for 3. After a tough game against Richmond, the Tar Heels were looking a lot more smooth on offense, consistently getting the ball inside and taking easy buckets. It seemed like it had just taken a game for Devin and his supporting cast to get their footing, and everyone was getting involved in the first half of this one. While offense looked good, defense was questionable at times, and Oklahoma was hanging around going into the second half. Pete Nance was going off and dunking on people left and right, and Caleb Love got involved as he'd been the best 3-point shooter on the team by far in these first 2 games. 3-point shooting is one area Devin is hoping to develop more in, as he's been mostly an inside scorer so far. Oklahoma's offense continued to do just enough to stay within an arm's length in this game, but after Bacot put down a thunderous dunk, the Sooners would have to foul to extend the game. Once again, Devin was headed to the free throw line in crunch time, but free throw shooting is probably what he's best at. He knocked down both without a problem to send the Sooners packing and had another solid scoring day in his 2nd game. Next up, Devin is back on the football field taking on Old Dominion. We start this one out with a nice return, and it's looking like this is going to be a dominant performance. I'm seeking out my first 100-yard carry day, but we got a 3rd down here, so we're going to have to pass it, and I will take that easy touchdown over the middle. Let's go. Old Dominion clearly does not have the firepower to hang with us on offense. I'm just going to keep catching these passes out of the backfield. I've been trying not to do too much with these runs, just pick up positive yards and keep the drive going, because our pass game has been so solid. We really just need to put Drake May in good position to make plays for us. Alright, so going Going into the second half, Old Dominion finally gets on the board, so this is definitely a game. Drake May's gonna dump it off and we get nothing on that play. So just like that, this is a one-score game. It looked like we were gonna run away with it, but Devin's got tons of room here. This might be our first big run touchdown as we take it down the sidelines to the house. And Devin is just 14 yards away from his first ever 100-yard rushing performance. We do get tackled in the backfield there, and this might be our last chance. 3rd and 13. We've got a nice opening up the middle. Don't quite pick up the first down, but you know I'm hurrying this thing up. I've been trying not to cheese like this in this series, but I gotta do what I gotta do here. And we are just 1 yard away from our first 100-yard day. We got the ball on the draw, and that's gonna be it. Finally, dude. And why not run up the score a little bit here? Let me get another touchdown. We're barely able to get into the end zone to cap this one off. And thanks to a big play on the ground, we have easily our best game of the season so far. So riding high off of his first 100-yard rushing day on the football field, Devin spends the bye week heading down to Maui for an out-of-conference tournament against some of the best teams in the country. While he was feeling good going into the tournament, he did not start off shooting well. He had been below average from behind the arc in his first couple of games, despite coming in as a highly regarded three-point shooter, and that was something he'd have to figure out if he wanted to become a top draft pick. UNC fell behind as Devin couldn't get a bucket to fall until he finally caught the defense napping to sneak in for a layup at the end of the half. This game went into halftime tied up despite the Tar Heels not playing their best ball, and the game plan in the second half was to slow things down and work through the post. Pete Nance had been great so far this season, which was opening up shot opportunities for the guards, but Nova matched UNC's scoring step for step as Nance continued to dominate inside. Devin had a tough day, but he finally got something going as he took an and one with a couple minutes left and knocked down a big free throw. With a 3-point lead and just over a minute left, Caleb Love drilled a dagger and all the Tar Heels had to do was not choke. Thankfully, Love iced the game with another big 3-pointer, and Villanova's offense had finally gone silent as they couldn't buy a bucket. Devin was headed to the line again, this time with a more secure lead, and he stayed perfect on his free throws as UNC came up with a big win in tournament play, thanks largely to Pete Nance's strong performance. In the second round of the Maui Invitational, UNC was taking on a talented Alabama team. Devin was looking to put his 3-point shooting woes to bed in this game as he hit his first shot, but he got humbled when he tried to take this ball to the hole and got absolutely stuck. Bama's offense got off to a rough start, but they were slowly starting to heat up. This was a more low-scoring half, and UNC was clinging to his small lead, but Devin was getting physically dominated so far in this game by the athletic Alabama big. Devin was able to hit another jump shot to open up the second half, and UNC was once again doing a good job of working through the post to produce offense. Devin did get scorched on defense a few times though, and while he was showing potential as a scorer, he was definitely looking like a freshman at times. Alabama's offense had woken up in the second half, and they were looking just a little bit more explosive than Devin's team. They were hitting ridiculous shots to stay in the game, and with a couple minutes left, they had the lead. After Devin came up with a nice play on defense, Pete Nance grabbed an offensive rebound to tie it back up, and this one was coming down to the wire. Bama retook the lead on a dunk with time running under 2 minutes, and after having a quiet game, Devin clutched up as he hit a huge shot through contact for an and one opportunity. Devin had been nails from the free throw line all year, and UNC reclaimed the lead, but Bama was not missing anything at this point in the game. The lead continued to change hands as Devin made a defender look like an idiot and drilled another clutch jumper. The Tide finally missed a jump shot with just over 30 seconds left, and they had no choice but to send Devin to the line yet again. The free throws would be no problem as Devin had taken over the game in the last couple of minutes. It looked like UNC was going to steal another one, but Bama knocked down a game-tying 3, and Devin's attempt at a game winner bounced harmlessly off the rim. This game was headed to overtime, and Devin was trying to put the team on his back for the win, but Alabama was fired up after their big shot to end regulation. They took the lead as they were doing a great job of cutting to the basket and catching the Tar Heel defense napping, and UNC needed an answer, but Devin's shooting went cold again, and while a Baycott basket cut the lead back to 4, a Mark Sears 3-pointer would ice this game. He had definitely outperformed Devin in this one, and UNC took a crushing first loss of the season.